In this video, you're going to learn how to work out the area of a trapezium using this formula. So this is the general formula for the area of a trapezium. So that's a plus b times h divided by 2. Now, on a trapezium, a and b are the parallel sides. So they should always be marked with these arrows. That shows they're parallel. So we add the parallel sides, multiply by the perpendicular height. So that's the height between A and B, and it should be at a right angle to A and B. And then once you've done that, remember to divide by 2. So I'm going to show you now some examples of how to use the formula, and then at the end of the video, I'll briefly explain where this formula comes from. So now let's look at some examples. So we're finding the area of this trapezium. We've got parallel sides length 4 and 7 centimeters, so that will be our A and B. And we've got a perpendicular height between them of 6 centimeters. So we'll start with the formula, area equals A plus B times the height divided by 2. So we want to find 4 plus 7 times 6 divided by 2. 4 plus 7 is 11, 11 times 6 is 66, and 66 divided by 2 is 33 centimeters squared. So that is my final answer, 33 centimeters squared. Let's try another one. So here we have sides given to us of 2.8 centimeters and 4 centimeters, and another side of 3.1 centimeters. And we've got this distance here of 2 centimeters. Now, we may have more information than we need. So we know that we need the parallel sides, so these will be our A and B, and we need the perpendicular height between them. So we need to choose the measurement that is at right angles to both of the parallel sides. So that would be this length here, 2 centimeters. That means we can ignore the 3.1. So the area will be 2.8 plus 4 multiplied by 2 and then divided by 2. So that will give us an answer of 6.8 centimeters squared. So here's one for you to try. Press pause here and have a go. When you're finished, press play and check your answers. So we should have A and B as these sides here, 4.7 and 9.3. The height is 4.2 centimeters, and we can ignore this 6.2. When we substitute all of these values into the formula, we get the answer of 29.4. And because it's an area, it will be 29.4 centimeters squared. So this was the last example of the video. So you can either go to the questions now, or you can watch the next 30 seconds to see where the formula comes from. So to understand where this formula comes from, let's look at this general trapezium. So it's got parallel sides of length A and B, and it's got a height in between them, a perpendicular height, and we'll call that h. Now imagine cutting this trapezium in half this way. So what you end up with is 2 trapeziums. Okay, so those 2 trapeziums will each have a height of half of h because we've cut it in half this way. So now imagine that we move this trapezium at the top and move it down to the bottom here. So we've actually rotated it and joined it on to the trapezium at the bottom. So now we have this parallelogram here. And to work out the area of a parallelogram, we need to calculate base times perpendicular height. So on this, the base is going to be length B plus A, and the height will be half of h. So the area will be A plus B times h, and then divided by 2. So that's where the formula comes from. Now, you don't need to remember these steps, but it's just useful to have an idea of where this formula comes from and why we use it.